Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, I welcome you so very much. If you're an old subscriber, you know how we do it. Love you so much. Thank you for coming back. So today, while you're watching this video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why your makeup doesn't last as long as you want it, why your makeup comes out cakey, why it doesn't turn out as beautiful as you might want it to look. First of all, the quality of products that you use matters a lot. I know some products has original, some has fake, some has a medium original, or let's say medium fake. So what exactly are you buying in the market? So it doesn't matter if it's a Nigerian brand, it doesn't matter if it's a foreign brand, a high-end or a low-end product, but did you get the best of the best? Then another thing is your application. Let's start with the skin prep. What exactly are you doing with your skin prep? First of all, you're expected to cleanse the face. After cleaning the face, you hydrate. How is your hydration method? Are you hydrating so very well, or you're just managing your products? Then after hydration, your moisturizer application, are you blending into the skin very well? After blending into the skin, do you allow your makeup to sink? The products that you added to the face, do you allow it to sink into the skin properly? So what you're required to do during skin prep is this. After hydration, you allow the skin to take it in. That's allow it to dry down. Then when you go into moisturize, massage into the skin properly and also allow it to dry down. Then go in with your primer. When you're applying your primer, are you blending properly, or is your primer giving patches? Especially if you're using a mattifying primer, you're expected to blend down or tap in very well so that your mattifying primer doesn't leave patches. Because once it leaves patches and you apply foundation on top of it, you are going to have your foundation coming out in patches as well. So after your primer, you can then go ahead and start applying your foundation. So let's talk about foundation application. How exactly do you do it? Do you use brush? Do you use beauty blender? Do you use your hand? Whichever way you choose to go in with your foundation, you need to blend properly. For me, I blend with brush and then I go ahead to set it in or blend more with beauty blender to make it sit properly on the skin. So when you are blending with brush, you have to be light-handed about it. Don't just press in. When you press in so much, you end up leaving patches. The same thing goes with your beauty blender. You don't have to press in like you are pounding the face or something. You're supposed to be light-handed when you are blending in your foundation. Take your time and slightly blend in. Don't forcefully, don't pound, don't be light-handed about it. Be light-handed. The person you're blending the foundation is not supposed to even know that you're actually, putting pressure on the face. If you put so much pressure, you end up having patches. Also, the beauty blender you are using, I know your beauty blender is supposed to be damp. If it's not damp, it's going to leave patches. Then, if it's overly wet, if there is so much water in it, it's still going to spoil your blending or your foundation application, which means you're adding so much water to the face. So it's supposed to be damp. When you put it in the water, you bring it out and then squeeze out all the water on it before you start using it. So that's another thing you have to note. So let's talk about concealer application. How exactly do you apply your concealer? Some concealers are lightweight, while some are full coverage, some are not. So those ones that are full coverage, you are expected to apply it and then wait a bit before blending. But then while you are waiting, how long exactly are you waiting? Because if you wait for so long, the concealer would dry down on the face and you will not be able to blend it. So you're just waiting for maybe a 60 minutes of 10 seconds or 20. Then you start blending down. And while you are also blending, your beauty blender is also very, very important. I hope it's not as wet, because if it's very wet, it's going to affect the blending. also while you're blending, just the same way I talked about foundation, you don't have to press in so hard. Just be light-handed about, be light-handed about the blending, and don't press in so hard so that you don't leave patches under the eyes. If you are going in with your brush, the same thing goes for the beauty blender, goes for the brush. Be light-handed when you are blending. Don't leave patches, don't leave creasing and all that. Then another thing why your under eyes will break is because you are not blending out the creasing lines before setting. Creasing line in the sense that that after concealer application, your model, your client tends to look upwards, downwards, stuff like that. As you're looking around, or as you're working to get other things done, there might be creasings under the eyes or fine lines under the eye. Instead of just carrying your powder and putting it directly on that fine lines that has been created, what you're expected to do is to blend out the fine lines first. Blend it out. Now, how do you blend it out? You can just use your beauty blender and just puff it out, or add a little bit of concealer again and then blend properly. Then tell your client, your model, to keep on looking upwards, that look to the ceiling while you now set with your setting powder. So another thing is, how do you set your under eyes? How do you set your under eye? Do you pack the whole product on your beauty blender or your brush and then put it onto the face? No, you're expected to, when you're using a beauty blender, use your beauty blender, take a little bit of the powder or your setting powder, then buff it out on your hand first before you go directly to the face, because you are looking to use very tiny bits of setting powder or your normal powder. You don't need to pack so much product under the eyes. This will also help you to avoid the creasing that we are talking about, and to make you have enable you have a flawless under eyes. Okay, so another point here, how do you set the whole face? After setting, you're not just setting the under eyes, you are setting the whole face, in the sense that you are powdering the whole face. When you are setting the rest of the face, you're expected to set so very well, to the extent that your foundation dries out. As far when you touch the face, you won't feel that there was anything wet, that you won't feel the wetness of the foundation. That's when you know that you've actually set the whole face properly. Some people apply powder as though they are trying to save their powder. In as much as you're not trying to save your powder, you're also not trying to pack so much product. But make sure that the whole face is all set in the way that when you touch the skin, when you touch the face, you will not feel the wetness from the foundation. Especially if your foundation is not a matte foundation. Even if it's a matte foundation, you're still expected to, set the whole face properly. And then make sure you are using the person's exact skin shade. Don't use powder that is lighter than the person's skin. Don't use the one that is darker. Make sure that the powder, your choice of powder, matches the person's skin. The same thing goes with foundation as well. I forgot to talk about skin matching, which is another good thing to look out for when you are doing your skin work. Make sure you match the skin properly, because it won't look good that your model's skin is white and the face is dark, or that the body is white, is dark, and then the face is light. Coke and Fanta makeup, please, we don't do that again. We don't do that. Then another thing to talk about is your eyeshadow application. You're expected to use eyeshadow primer. When you're applying your eyeshadow primer, how do you go about it? You're expected to put your eyeshadow primer with your brush, with your hand, but make sure you are blending out very well. Blend out in the sense that the eyeshadow looks very smooth. If it's going to help, use your beauty blender and blend your eyeshadow. I use my beauty blender in order to achieve that flawless blending. Then make sure your client, your model, is consistently closing their eyes until you are done with your eyeshadow application. Then use fluffy brushes to blend down. Use fluffy brushes to blend down harsh lines. If you're using 3 different colors of eyeshadow, nobody is expected to know where this one is stopping and then where this one is starting. Your blending is the key to a flawless makeup, whether you're doing your skin work, whether you're doing your eye work, whether you're doing your lip work. Blending matters a lot. So your blending brushes goes a long way in helping your eyeshadow application come out very well. And then your color combination, exactly what colors are you combining? You're expected to know what works and what does not work and which colors goes together. And then placement, where are you placing? There are rules to eyeshadows and makeup application, unless when you are just trying to be abstract. But then again, what combination of colors are you adding to the eyes? Another thing that will affect your choice of color or eyeshadow application is what exactly is the event as well. So always make sure you're asking your client what the makeup is for. If it's a normal makeup, if it's a wedding makeup, a birthday shoot, a night outing. So whatsoever the person is doing the makeup for might end up actually affecting your choice of eyeshadow application and colors as well. That's it. For eyebrows, yes. This one is very tricky though. So eyebrows, eyebrows is expected to have an arc, is expected to have a beginning, and is expected to have an ending. So how do you go about applying your eye pencil or your eyebrow? So your eyebrow is expected to start from the side of the nose and then end with the outer corner of the eyes, and the arc is expected to come directly on top of the pupil, that's the black eyes. So you're expected to outline your eyebrows first. When you outline it in the way that anyone that is far away will see the outlining, then you can go ahead and fill up the inside. Then what color of eye pencil are you using? Please, in this day and age, nobody still uses black. And then depending on the skin color you are working, if you are working on a light skin, and you are using a Davis pencil, go for shade 18. Then if you are working on a dark skin and you are using a Davis pencil, go for shade 3. But if you are using gel liners, of course some gel liners comes in different colors as well, while some is just one color. And the one that I used for this particular look is just one color, and the color is just perfect for her skin. So on a darker skin, a very, very dark skin, this shade might not pop out very well. So if you want it to pop more, you might have to add a little bit of a darker, maybe a black gel liner or a darker shade, and you mix it up well and then apply so that it pops on a darker skin as well. Then the beginning of your brows is expected to be flawless, is expected to look natural, not like a block shape. It's expected to look like the person's brows. So always do the outer part of the brows very lightly and very, very natural. Yes. So for the lips, in order to avoid breaking, you are expected to prep the lips as well. You use your lip balm to moisturize the lips very well before you go in with your lipstick, because if the lips is overly dry, it's going to affect the outcome of the lip application. Also, I know that some products you cannot just help it, some products will end up breaking no matter what you do. It's just that it's not a very good one. So in the sense that you have a product that comes out like that, all you have to do is to top it up. Always make sure you're topping it up with your lip gloss, to avoid that breaking. Then also blending is also very, very important. Blending, if you are doing an ombre lip, you're expected to blend out the outlining very well, then go in with the one that you are applying on the inner part of the lips. Blending is also key, but make sure you are moisturizing the lips before you apply your lips. Yes, basically. Then blush. Your choice of blush matters. The color on a lighter skin shade, orange goes, pink goes, peach goes. On a darker skin shade, I would suggest you use orange or red, darker red for a darker skin shade. Then if you're using a powder blush, make sure you are blending. Make sure you are not your placement shouldn't be like a straight line or something, and it shouldn't have harsh lines as well. You blend your blush in a circular motion into the skin, blending your blush in a circular motion into the skin. And remember you are using a fluffy brush to add your blush to the face. Then if you are using a liquid, a wet blush, you're expected to use your beauty blender to apply it so that it doesn't affect the rest of the face. Because if you use brush to apply a wet blush on the face, it might create patches or lines onto the face. That's why you need to use a beauty blender to blend it. And then when you take the beauty blender and take out the product from the palette, don't go directly onto the face. Blend it out on your hand first before you apply to the face, and make sure you're also blending in circular motion. Then for highlighting the face, look for a brush that works, a tiny fluffy brush or a fan brush that works properly, and then be light-handed about it. And then don't pack so much product, because if you pack so much product onto the brush and apply it on the skin directly, that highlighter, that setting, the loose highlighter or bronzer is just going to be on the face without, no matter how hard you try to blend out that first mistake, it's not going to go out. So what you're expected to do when you're highlighting the face is take a little bit on your brush, tap it out. Tap out the brush. How do you tap out? Maybe hit the brush on the palette or on the chair on your hand, so that you will have fallouts of excess highlighter, loose highlighter on the brush, before you then go onto the skin, and then slightly place it on the cheek, on top of the apple of the cheeks, that's on top of your blush. You go contour, blush, and then highlight, and then blend in properly without leaving harsh lines. I keep on mentioning harsh lines because harsh lines used to irritate me. Like, there is no way your makeup will have harsh lines and it will look good. That's why I keep hammering on blending. Always target those harsh lines and make sure you are blending everything into each other properly. That's it for blush and highlight. And then for your lashes, please don't put so much glue on your lashes. If you put so much glue on your lashes, it's going to affect your eyelash placement. Very tiny bits of the glue on the strip of the lashes, and then when you are placing it, make sure you are placing it close to the eyelid. Close to the eyelid, and then close to the natural lash line as well, so that you don't create a space between the natural lash line and maybe your eyeliner. When someone looks through, they'll be seeing a space between the natural eyelashes and the false eyelashes. Guys, we'll be stopping here today. Like, this is the end of this look, and I made this video with natural light. At this point, the light had already gone. I just had to use my window side to make this video. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, drop a comment so that we'll continue it in our next episode. If you've not subscribed at this point, please do like this video and share. Please subscribe to my channel, and I really appreciate you for being here today. Thank you so much.